Hi guys, it's Evie7. Um, as you can tell by the title, this is going to be about the concept of tolerance, and I believe that tolerance is, or the concept of it, is a two-way street. Um, Before I go any further, I might as well just say that I do have notes, so I don't ramble for the next few minutes, and I'm going to do my usual, put on some music as background noise, and you also get to look at my awesome Pulp Fiction poster. Yes, I actually love that movie. I'm sorry, I'm loopy, I'm a little sleepy, and I'm just going to get this over with, get this off my chest, because I am not going to go to sleep until I do. So, just a second, I'm going to put on my happy music. 1 second. Okay. What I'm going to talk about is what exactly tolerance is, and then there is the dictionary definition, and then there's mine. The dictionary definition of tolerance, or being tolerant, is to allow the existence, occurrence, or practice of something that one does not necessarily like or agree with without interference. Definition number 2 is to accept or endure someone or something unpleasant or that you dislike with forbearance. And my definition of being tolerant or tolerance is, it's just a glorified version of saying deal with it because you have to. I may not be necessarily right in that, but that's what it sounds like to me. It just sounds like a cold, metallic way of just saying deal with it. That's just what it sounds like to me. However, I believe that most campaigns should go more for accepting or acceptance. And I looked this up too. The dictionary standard of acceptance is more or less the consent to receive something that is offered or agreed to undertake. And my definition of it is the willingness to understand that the manifestation exists. What I mean by that is willing to accept a person of all with every dimension as they are. And sometimes it is within our nature to kind of pick and choose what we want, what we like, what we dislike. And we do this in people so much. And I don't think it's fair. Like a group, or a great example of this is if you walk up to a person that has a certain sexual preference, and we're going to use the one that's gay, okay? You walk up to a person who you know is homosexual and you ask them, what are you? I'll give it a fair chance. About 7 out of 10 will say, I'm a gay person. And if you walk up to a person that fits in the social construct of race, you ask them, what are they? And if they are of African descent, or they would be considered black, they will go, I'm a black person, or I'm African. There is nothing wrong with using that to identify as a form of identity. The problem lies where we take that form of identity and we pinpoint it to a person. And if we don't like it, we cast them aside for it. And we ignore all the different dimensions that there are to this person. And we just take that one thing that for some cases we dislike, and then we cast people aside for them. And then when society goes with this campaign of tolerance, this is what I mean when I say they're just more or less saying deal with it. When I personally believe that if you are going to take that identity form and put it to yourself, accept it. Don't just deal with it. If your mind is open enough, willingly accept it, or just willingly let it be, and I guess just understand that it exists. Acknowledge the fact that it's there. And even if you don't like, it may not be what you like necessarily, don't take that and condemn the person for it, which I feel we do so often. And a perfect example for me is when I forgot, is this the church begins with a W. I don't know what it is, but it's the Something Baptist Church, and they've been doing the whole protest of horrible things of saying to people. And I believe if they are the ones that do the God Hates Fags campaign, I'm not sure if anybody knows, exactly what I'm talking about, and I'm wrong, could you please correct me on it? But with the whole God Hates Fags thing, I'm sitting there and I'm just like, they really don't understand what they're doing. And what they do is they're taking that one identity form of a person and they condemn people for it. And then, in turn, gives other people who are Christians a bad name. And then, if I go up to a person and go, I'm Christian, they will take my identity form and pin it to something that's negative. And then, they'll only tolerate what I believe in. They won't accept the fact that it's part of me. And I'm not sure if this is jumping all over the place for anybody, but I feel as though I'm jumping all over the place right now. I'm really sorry if I am. But it's just one of those things for me that, why do we do this to ourselves? How can we do this to ourselves and then call each other human, or call ourselves human for that? Granted, it is just a thing that we do. It's some of it is the fault of cultural norms, some of it is the fault of societal norms among the environment and the home and a bunch of other things. But I do believe that if there is a point where someone gets an epiphany of realization that that's not all it is, that there is so much more than just that. But at the same time, don't push. Like, for those who are in the LGBT community, and those that are of a different spiritual path, or anything else, don't push and force on someone, because that really does want to push away. Like, take for example, if a person who is of the LGBT community is trying to express that there are so many more dimensions to them than just being that sexual preference, and like, hey, I'm here, just accept me for me. That's fine. But when you're constantly pushing on someone, tolerate me, do this with me, do that with me, do this, do that, except, like, go to a gay bar with me, do this, do that. And I'm actually using the example of the Real World San Diego, because I've seen this on the show. The pushing, believe it or not, is like the constant badgering it into a person will push them away. What I think people fail to realize is it does take steps. And this goes the same for someone who's on the spiritual path and I will use Christianity. If I constantly tell my friends, go to church with me, there's a guy, go to church with me, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that, I will push them away. Now, if I kind of ease into it and just go, hey, you want to try this with me? And if they say no, I'm not going to force them. And just go, all right, I'll back up. And, if they happen to be the group of friends that you can say just about anything around and it doesn't bother them, and since they accept you for you anyway, they'll take it. Now, that also, even if you have friends like that, it will take steps in order to convince someone to do things of that nature with you. And you can't constantly badger someone with it, because it will more or less push them further, and it pushes them in the direction that you won't want them to go. And I really believe people forget that. And also, the measures that you take to do it count a great deal. Like saying things like God hates fags. You really think people are going to listen to you if you use a slur? You really think people are going to listen to you? Like, seriously. And then you give others a bad name for it. Like, that's really fair. Okay, I think it's time for me to end the video now. If you have any questions, concerns, if you want to rebuttal with me, either via YouTube video, or even in just a message. I ask that you please be genuine, please be courteous, no smart aleck answers or comments, and please be respectful to others that may also comment, okay? That's all I'm asking. If you want to challenge me on anything, that's absolutely fine. All I ask is please don't start a fight with anybody, and please don't be aggressive about it, okay? Okay, I think it's time for me to stop. So, I will talk to you later, YouTube. And there may be a part 2 to this. Who knows? Bye-bye.